Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first semi-final in the Coronation Cup between Food Please and Gummibaer Gruen. And I am especially thrilled to cast this game, as I have not yet cast a game in the Coronation Cup. And now we have this amazing semi-final, which is also a big grudge match between those two players. So they always go against each other, which leads to some very amazing and interesting games. So let's see what we have here. The semi-finals, so the first game of the semi-finals at least, is played on Mega Random with a regicide rule set, and that's why both players start with King. And I'm not sure where the kings are at the moment. I'm sure they're running around somewhere. Oh, Gummibaer is just idling behind his castle. And so I'm not sure if this is a mega random thing that they get a castle in the beginning, or if this is now linked to the regicide game mode, which would also be possible. But nevertheless, so they start with a castle, they start with a king. And of course, if you lose your king, you lose the match. So you need to be extra careful. So for instance, Food Please needs to be sure that he doesn't run into the castle fire, but he's taking a turn left and is fine for now. Now, additionally, if you look closely, you see that we have one scout over here from Gummibaer and a second scout over here. So double scouts, which just leads to so much more scouting in the initial stages of the game. And later on, they can also be pesky, annoying scouts that can raid the enemy base and maybe even kill enemy villagers early on. And if you look at the Fog of War, we already see this extra scouting power that the players have due to the extra scouts and even the king. So effectively 3 scouts. And if you look closely, you see that the king is very fast. So that's something that players wouldn't assume. If you look at the king, you would think it's a fat man, so he would just waddle around. But no, he has a good line of sight, even better line of sight than the scouts. And he is pretty fast, so you should use the king for scouting, at least in the early stages, and that's what the players are doing. Of course, as I said, be careful with your scouting king, so that you don't lose it right away. Oh, and look at this! Oh, sneaking a villager besides the scout is Food Please. And Gummibaer just missed it. That's so unfortunate. And this villager will, of course, lame something, and I think he will lame the rhinoceros, because why not? That's what Food Please is known for, and that's what he's always doing. A quick look at the civs. So we have Burmese for Food Please, and they have a special bonus that they see the relics from the get-go. But other than that, I'm sure that Food Please is maybe not too familiar with the Burmese. Maybe we will some Arambai in this game, because he already has a castle. Arambai, very strong unit, of course. Food Please losing his scout over here, but he is able to lame the rhinoceros of Gummibaer. Gummibaer, at the same time, he is Britain's, so much more classic civilization. He could go for archers in the long run, and I think archers are actually good against the Arambai, so I think that's a good thing. Now he wants to take the rhinoceros, but that's unfortunately, it's already gone. And let's see what those players are going to do, because I expect a lot of walls going up, and yes, that's exactly what's happening here. And Food Please walling himself in. Maybe Gummibaer should react and wall him in turn, but no, he's just retreating. He's like, okay, I let this villager do whatever he wants, and I'm going all the way back. And that's a big mistake, and that's what Gummibaer always seems to do against Food Please. He just says, okay, this villager won't do much. And look at this, he's going for barracks. And yeah, he can just stream out those militia in Dark Age. And look at this mill placement, I don't like it. I mean, why not place it over here closer to your TC, because then you could also go for farms. Because here it's really far out there. And yeah, now the villagers are even automatically tasked with the rhinoceros, but that leads him actually to see the barracks of Food Please, and he needs to wall it in quickly. But I think he left a gap over here where the villagers are taking the rhinoceros, so I'm not sure if this will help Gummibaer in this instance. And look at this, the scouts are idling in the middle. They should just come back and assist here if any militia pop out. But of course, that's a lot of multitasking. You're not used to having 2 scouts. Now you see a lot of walling going on, and Gummibaer, you should also make sure that you wall in the villager of Food Please, and the militia are out. But it's only 2 militia, it's 3 villages, so you could fight this. I mean, you will have a lot of idle time, but that's to be expected. 1 militia already going down, but this villager will also go down. 1 militia, 1 villager going down. Second villager will go down, I think, unless you block the militia with the other villager. Yes! I'm not sure if this was intentional, but it worked out for Gummibaer. And Gummibaer, if you look at the villager number, is actually ahead by 2 villagers here. But now you see the problem with this mill. It's so far in front, and you maybe would need to wall in your villages over here. But other than that, Food Please can just wall in your berries, and it will be very awkward to take any more of them. And here, this is not handled well here. Gummibaer just losing his militia from the get-go. And there are still 2 pesky militias from Food Please over here. And honestly, now trickling out another militia is Gummibaer. That's such a bad response. And look at this. The builder or the villager of Food Please is still at full HP. Can you imagine that? And that's the problem with Gummibaer. He's usually just letting these villagers just do whatever they want. They can just go ahead and do what they like. And now finally he's chasing a little bit, but oh, what a terrible wall over here. I mean, this is not going to accomplish anything, because as we established and what we've seen right here is the militia can just come out, and now this villager is really out of position. And it has to walk around the long way and could even get picked off. I think that Food Please should use his second scout to block the villager. But yeah, the villager is standing still anyways. And that's a pretty disastrous start for Gummibaer here in this situation, because he's not reacting to this villager. Why are you not attacking this? It's just a few men-at-arms. Pull some villagers if necessary, but yeah, don't be so careless. I mean, this villager will just go around, I predict, will just go around past this woodline, past the berries over here, and then maybe later on, maybe it will even be able to drop a watchtower. So this villager has already done enough. It lamed the rhinoceros over here, it built the barracks, forced a lot of bad walls, lamed the berries, so this mill is basically useless at this point, and that's what I said about the placement. And Gummibaer had to go for a second mill over here. Now we have some walls, preliminary walls over here, so the woodline should be safe. I mean, it's only 2 militia, one of which with 1 HP, and 1 villager, but now they're going through, they're busting through the palisades, and Gummibaer has to fight this. He has to fight this, but no, he's vacating the woodline. Come on, Gummibaer, it's 4 villagers against 3 units. So you're just giving it up, and of course, that's what I said. It's this one pesky villager. But look at this, more villagers attempt to go forward, but Gummibaer is now in the feudal age, so the scouts are strong enough to pick off this villager. So Gummibaer actually very lucky that his scouts were there. And now look at this. The woodline is denied by a single villager, and the militia also still going strong. Now Gummibaer finally realizing that he has some scouts. He's not clicking them here. I don't know what he's occupied with at the moment. I mean, let's go to view logs and maybe we'll see what he's going for if this works out. Yeah, he's tasking his woodline. I mean, so this is basically all that the Gummibaer is focused on right now, and he should realize that there is some pesky militia still in the back of his base, and he should just retask scouts over here instead of focusing on I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I'm on view lock, and I can't seem to be seeing any actions from him. Yeah, now finally going for the stables. Of course, that's the classic Gummibaer game plan. Sometimes it feels like it's the only game plan he knows is like going for knights. So maybe he should diversify a little bit, because look at this. Still the militia there, the mill is almost down, the villagers now walling in those berries, and that's gonna be very awkward to take the berries because you have these pesky palisades here. finally the scouts are coming in, and they're finally dealing with the militia and now also the villager. But that villager did so much, it ran around the whole base. It was just a single villager. You cannot be pressured by a single villager that much in the semifinals of a big tournament. Period. Luckily for Gummibaer, that also means that Food Please is also very occupied. But look at this, it's a 4-villager lead for Food Please in this game already. And Food Please is also up to the feudal age. He will be able to go up to the castle age very soon, as is Gummibaer if he realizes that. Now Food Please clicking up, very nice managing of the economy, whereas Gummibaer has a lot of gold stored up, not clicking up yet. I don't know what he's focusing on. He's going for fletching. I mean, he should just click up in this case. He's also not producing villagers. Now queuing the villager, cancelling the villager, queuing the villager, clearing the castle age, cancelling the villager. He seems to be very flustered. And now, remember what I talked about the scouts in the beginning? Now there's like 2 scouts. They could raid a lot of the economy of Food Please. Who's basically also showing us his typical Food Please economy over here with a lot of idols. But he could raid, but now it's way too late. I mean, we have the spearman out. These 2 scouts are not going to do shit, and they're just going to get picked off by the spearman, and that's will be it for the aggression. Now there's a questionable move by Food Please over here. He is going for the man-at-arms upgrade, which is way too late. He doesn't have any militia anymore, so the men-at-arms are not gonna do much. Especially as you know that Gummibaer will go for knights, because Gummibaer always goes for knights, as I said. And look at this! Look at the bumping over here, and that's what you get because of the definitive edition, obviously, but also due to the palisade walls placed here by Food Please, and these villagers, they're just bumping and bumping and bumping into each other. What a disaster! And now there's one militia over here. Maybe it tries to get rid of these palisade walls, and this villager is running around. And that's all the work of this one single villager that was sent forward. But now I think Gummibaer will have a time to strike back, because he has the double stables. He is going up for the castle age, and he will be able to pump out the knights from these stables, and with those he will be able to raid his opponent, who is still wide open in the back. So the knights can just go here, pick off villagers, go here, pick off villagers, and yeah, there are some spearmen out there, but really they're not going to do much. But this, I'm not sure if I like this move. The longbowman, I would maybe just go for knights here. And now the men-at-arms are in. I mean, they should not be doing much, but yeah, they pick off a villager here. So yeah, nicely played. So maybe the men-at-arms upgrade was worth it after all. Yeah, he should just send the longbows to defend. And not these militia. I mean, the militia, why is he creating militia? He has knights right now and some longbows, and I think the knights is enough to just clean up everything here. I mean, it's just some pesky men-at-arms, 1 spearman, 2 spearmen, and the scout. So Gummibaer clears up this aggression. Now he has to go forward, but he's spread thin because he's going for knights and longbowmen, and longbowmen are not too cheap. And he also needs upgrades for both of them. He has fletching, at least, but he has no defense upgrades, and he does not have Bodkin arrows, so I'm not sure how much he will do, but in principle, it's a good composition to also counter any pikemen that will be coming out from his opponent. But now Gummibaer getting housed and falling far behind in the villager count. It's 35 against 29 villages, and now he's trying to pressure the front, which I don't like. He should just go around, have his crossbowman or his longbowman sit behind the wood line and just pick at those villages. Now finally he's getting some damage done maybe, but remember the crossbowman or the longbowmen are pretty inaccurate, and the Britons don't get thumb ring, so they will stay inaccurate for the whole game. And yeah, Gummibaer is a little bit stubborn. I mean, why are you insisting on attacking in the front? And I think that there will be some units popping out of the barracks over here. Yeah, there's a couple of pikemen queued, and they can just inflict a lot of damage onto the knights. And yeah, I think the front is pretty much pressured, but now the TC is shooting at the knights. And all the while, Gummibaer could have just run around here and pressured the second TC anyways. So far, no real villager picks from Gummibaer. He's also missing the armor upgrade, and the Arambai are coming out. And yeah, Gummibaer did not achieve much, and now he has a couple of longbowmen, but they're pretty much trapped over here, and the pikemen are out, and it would just finish off those knights. They're gone. And yeah, Gummibaer can raid a little bit maybe, but as he is missing the armor upgrade, it's not great for him. I mean, he will lose a lot of army numbers, and I'm not sure. Right now the Arambai are here, and I mean right now it's just a single Arambai, so it can be killed off quite easily. Oh no, just kill it off. Oh, Gummibaer throwing away his knights. I mean, well, it led to an equalization of villagers at least, but I don't think that's sustainable in the long run. And now look at this, the longbowmen, they're not good enough against the pikemen. And I think that Gummibaer needs to retreat, he needs to think of a different angle of attack. But at least what's going for him is that he is now in the offensive. However, in the long run, you see that Food Police does have 2 TCs, although this one is completely idle. So typical Food Police economy there. And now we have a very strong composition of pikemen and Arambai, and I think that Gummibaer just needs to go back. Yeah, he just needs to go back and think of a different strategy. I mean, you remember it's regicide, so you could even go for a very sneaky strategy, for instance, like get a few petards, bust down the castle. But look at this, Gummibaer just getting cleaned up here by the Arambai. He needs to mass the longbowman, and I think longbowman not the best choice because you only have a single castle. Instead, you should go for the archery range and just go for a regular crossbow. In my opinion, I think that's a better choice in the castle age in this situation. And now he's getting up an archery range, but the Arambai are already there. And they are so strong, these Arambai. They have 17 attack, 5 range. I mean, they're very inaccurate, as you can see. So they're throwing their darts and they're missing their target half the time. But when they hit, it's so devastating. And now Food Police is on the counter-attack. He is booming ahead in villages, 38 to 34. Even though he lost a lot of villages, he is now in the offensive. And yeah, Gummibaer has to leave this TC that's not even up yet. And he's still going for these longbowmen, but as you can see, they're not doing shit. They're not doing anything at the moment. And he really needs to get the TCs up and match his opponent in economy before he will be able to catch up in military as well. He also has a lot of knights down here which are not doing much. And look at this, still this disaster mill from the beginning. He's not able to take these berries, he's not able to take these berries. So that's a lot of food that he is not able to take at this point, which he should have had already in the bank. And yeah, so it was very effective lane opening by Food Police, who actually told me that he was going for the laming award, so that's why he also wanted to go for some more laming. And now this I don't like. Why are you splitting off a couple of knights over here? You need to defend. Look at the Arambai. The Arambai are just cleaning up your longbowmen. I think you need to go here and kill this army of Food Police, especially since you have a lot of idols over here. So again, I mean, it's a mindset thing, it's a decision-making thing. Also, you need ballistics for this to work out, for the longbowmen, who are incredibly inaccurate anyways, but then they could at least hit some moving targets there. And now the Erembai are massing, and Mass Erembai so strong. Food Please now going for another town center over here. He will be on 3 TCs. Maybe Gummibaer will be able to do some damage with the Knights over here. He's now going also for the Elite Skirm upgrade, so he's really preparing for a defensive playstyle here over here against the Erembai. Now the Knights are in. So maybe he can do some damage. One villager going down. He still only has +1 defense, so they're not that strong underneath the TC. And now we have 3 TCs, we have a castle, so the base of Food Please is very nicely set up, very compact, very defensive. So there's not too much damage that Gummibaer can do here. So his classic opening, his classic playstyle of double stable knights is maybe not the choice here. Maybe more Mangonel push would have been better here, Mangonel and archers, because the archers are in principle good against the Erembai. But yeah, that's not what he did, and now he's stubbornly going for the Longbowman. They now have the +2 attack, but they don't have the armor upgrade yet, and I think they will just get cleaned up by the Erembai here, because the numbers are just too small, and he should retreat to the castle. Just go back to the castle, don't fight this, you don't need to fight this, you have the range advantage. I mean, look at this, they have 8 range, the Erembai have 5, so you just sit outside of the range of the Erembai and just pick them off. But now Gummibaer or Food Please is coming closer, and now he has the Scorpions out, and the Scorpions could be strong against the archers. However, you have to remember that the Scorpions only have 7 range and the Longbowmen have 8 range, so actually Scorpion maybe not the best choice in this situation. Still, the Knights are out here, they're looking for villagers, could pick up this villager, and could pick up maybe stone villagers to equalize the villager count already, but look at this, it's 52 to 52 villagers. Now Mangonel is out by Food Please, but the Erembai are out of position, so the Knight will get the killing blow and will even escape. And that's what this inaccuracy of the Erembai does to you. Especially at long ranges, they're very inaccurate. But now the Scorpion is there and annoys Gummibaer. Could pick up this villager. Oh, there's a Mangonel. Will it get a shot? No, could get a shot here, maybe in the choke point. Gummibaer has to retreat. And it's just short, and again Erembai are kind of out of position, but Food Please is lucky that his Erembai did not miss, and now this knight is just wasted. Now this Mangonel still on low HP, it only has 7 range, so the Longbowman can just outrange it, just shoot it down, but now the villager is there to repair it, and this pressure is mounting by Food Please. But look at the queue, you see that Gummibaer is queuing up villagers and Food Please is not. So he is really going all in on this, or maybe just forgot to create more villagers. But that means that in the long run Gummibaer should get a villager advantage because he's really queuing them. And now the Mangonels are here. Oh no, what a disaster. Gummibaer, garrison your villagers, come on! Come on, garrison your villagers! Look at the Erembais, they're juicy Erembais in here, you don't shoot them. Now finally he does that. And now he needs to sit out of the range of the siege weapons and just shoot at them, shoot at those siege weapons. They cannot return your fire because they have less range. I see a disastrous Mangonel shot. Oh, what a disaster, Gummibaer! You have the range advantage. Use it. And now that's a very strong push by Food Please. He has diminished the numbers of Longbowman. They're not a threat anymore. Gummibaer now going for scout cavalry of all things. What a disaster, what a disaster. I mean, now he can just sit here with the siege weapons. He has a tower, he has the Erembai, he can just wail down on these TC. This TC is surely done, and yeah, you cannot send in those scouts, they're not gonna do shit. I mean, the Erembai have 17 attack. They will just crush the scouts. And you always need to be able to sit outside of the range of the siege weapons. And another disastrous Mangonel shot coming in. Oh, barely dodged, but that's so bad for Gummibaer. But now the siege weapons are kind of out of place. No, but he reacts in time And maybe the scouts will be able to inflict a little bit of... No, look at this. And now another mangonel shot. Oh, killing so many archers. Ah, that's a disaster. Gummibaer, I think that's the game for you. I mean, from the get-go, I mean, Gummibaer had all the tools to inflict enough damage on his opponent, do something. It wasn't clear that Food Please would be going for the Arambai because he did have a castle. Arambai is super strong. And so Gummibaer needed to do something else here than just try to go for his typical knight pressure, which just doesn't work on this level anymore, especially if you let your opponent delay you in the early game, and just trickling down those light cavs or the scout cavalry even, that's not enough. I think he's now finally getting some kills on the siege weapons. So nicely done there. The Scorpion is going down. Arambai are also being killed, but there's still one Mangonel, and the Mangonel will get another shot. Gummibaer is not watching. Oh, okay, finally he's even doing a split. Very nicely done, but it's not good enough. He's not good enough. Some attack ground by Food Please. Not much happening there in terms of mangonel shots. And but this is terrible, Gummibaer. You need to retreat your archers. Don't lose all your archers again. What a disaster. If we look at the village numbers now, Food Please 72 to 58. And now finally the mangonels are cleared out, but there's still some scorpions, there's some Arambai, and that's why instead of relying on the castle, maybe 2 archery ranges would have been better, because then you could have pumped out those crossbowmen, which are basically just as strong as the longbowmen, and I think even more accurate at longer ranges. And that maybe would have been a better choice in this situation. So I don't know what Gummibaer can do in this situation. He's now reduced to 1 TC. This TC will get pressured. Well, although Food Please is doing a questionable move here with the running into the TC. But again, trickling out Longbowman. This Longbowman will get picked off by the Mangonel. That's just wasting so much army. These Longbowmen are so precious, you cannot just waste them. And at the same time, Food Please has an unhinged boom over here. I mean, yes, he always has a messy economy, but it's good enough. And see, he has some pikemen. So he knows that when there are knights coming, he is safe. There's nothing that the knights can do. And now Food Please is even going up to the Imperial Age. And that's gonna be it. So I think that the only chance for Gummibaer at this point is some kind of crazy all-in push where he tries to snipe the king. But he's still trying to fight this army head-on, and look at the scorpions all lined up against these longbowmen, throwing again away these longbowmen. He should have just massed them, get some petards, get some rams or whatever is necessary to bust down the castle and snipe the king, because I think Food Please has forgotten about the fact that this is regicide. Now he's coming out with 14 villages, and he will go for a castle drop. Let's see where this castle will go. It's going to be a very ballsy castle here in the back. It's maybe not the best position because it's also at the corner of the map, but I think it will do the job. Gummibaer has nothing. He tries to fight with villagers, but I think he can just call the GG at this point, unless he wants to go for some crazy all-in strategy, but I don't think he has the resources. He has nothing left. And even the pesky pikemen are harassing his villagers. Yeah, and look at this army. It's 2 scout cavalry and 6 longbowmen. Now he's going for a counter castle. Finally, the pikemen are gonna get cleared up maybe by the longbowmen. But yeah, Food Please is an Imperial Age. He is pressuring this TC. He has the Mangonel, and he will have the trebuchets out soon, I presume, to bust down this castle, and then he can pick the king. And yeah, that's what I expected. And again, we see the problem of Gummibaer. He allows this early raid. He just lets Food Please do whatever he wants, and then Food Please is in the mind of Gummibaer. Gummibaer is defensive. He's not playing his best. He's going for weird choices. I mean, the Longbowman, not the best choice in this case. He knew that the Arambai were coming, and this Arambai and siege push, just so strong. Now finally the castle for Gummibaer is up, but as you see, the first trebuchet is already out, second and third trebuchet are coming out, and yeah, it's not gonna be long until this game is over. I mean, it's 78 to 61 villages. Again, trickling out these light caps, but the light caps are not gonna do much. The 17 attack of the Arambai is just so strong. So it's very tough to deal with that. Luckily for Gummibaer, the Arambai are focusing on the farms, so they're not doing too much. And now even Foodly is using these villages to take the forward wood or the wood line of Gummibaer, and this castle will soon fall. Gummibaer nowhere near the Imperial Age, and I'm not sure why he's still trying to defend. I mean, he should just as I said, go for some crazy all-in push, try to snipe the king, that's all you got left. But no, he's not going for any petards, and another mangonel shot. Wow, that I thought it would have been just much more deadly, but it wasn't. The castle is down, the town centers will fall. Foodly has this game in the bag. If he remembers that his king might be vulnerable, but as I said, also Gummibaer not thinking about that. He is just, yeah, wasting his time. I know that he has an appointment at this point, so maybe he should just resign, go to his appointment, and then come back stronger with a better mindset. Because yeah, he in the mid game he really had a lot of knights, he had a lot of army, he could have done a lot of damage, but he was hesitant, he was attacking the front, he was not going around the back, pressuring the back, and that gave Foodly enough time to prepare the pikeman, and then again, the castle can be a trap in these kind of situations where you think, okay, I get a castle because it's mega random, I get the castle from the beginning, so I have to make the unique unit, but maybe you don't have to make the unique unit. You can maybe supplement your archers with longbowmen, but in general, it can be a trap. On the other hand, for in Foodly's case, of course, with the Arambai being so strong, it's quite the opposite. So the castle is a big advantage because you can basically go directly to Castle Age and pump out this super strong unit. And now look at this, it's the siege train, and it will just go over here and delete this town center. I'm surprised that Foodly is not pushing further, so he could just use the traps to trap down this TC. So he's prolonging this game a little bit. But yeah, another castle coming up over here maybe, but no, the Longbowman kind of denying that for the moment. But Gummibaer also getting housed all the time. Ooh, losing so many villagers due to this hero Mangonel, which was so strong. And surprisingly, this TC is still standing actually. But it's badly damaged. Now the Gummibaer trying to diversify, building a TC up in the north, but I think it's inevitable. He has to go for the crazy strategy. But the problem is he's just losing all of his army. And if you don't have enough archers, you cannot snipe the king. That's just a simple fact. You need something to snipe the king of your opponent. That's your only choice in this situation. And I don't think that Foodly would expect this. I think Foodly has forgotten about the king. He has forgotten about everything. He's just playing this like a regular map. And Gummibaer now, he could even better down this tower over here, get a little bit more map control back. But he's so occupied, and now the trebuchets are laying siege to the market. This farmland is just a disaster, to be honest. And I don't think that Gummibaer even has ballistics at this point, so never going for a university. Yeah, he tries to escape over here, but I think it's over. It's so over. Now finally, Foodly's remembering that he could get bloodlines for his Arambai, which would make them so much stronger. Please now going for another castle. Now that's a ballsy castle. That's like get out of the game castle. Gummibaer interestingly taking this peculiar patch of stone down in the valley, which is it's a weird map generation if you look at it. It's this big valley in the center and then some ravines from the edges to the center. So it's maybe not the most exciting map generation that you could have. But yeah, interesting nonetheless. Yeah, but this castle will not be denied. I mean, look at the Ironbar. They're just cleaning house. I mean, they're missing once in a while, but they're just killing the longbowman. And now this castle, and the king is out. And let's see where the gather point was set, because Gummibaer, of course, he forgot to set the gather point to somewhere else, and he's calling the GG. King is down, and that's the game. What a first game in this semi-final, and yeah, Food Please won the first game, kind of as we expected, because Gummibaer has shown some problems with his mindset against Food Please. He's letting this aggression happen in the early stages, and he doesn't find a solution. I mean, in the mid-game, he was ahead in villager numbers, he had more of the knights, but he wasn't able to inflict enough damage, he wasn't able to adapt to the map and to the meta. He was just going for what he always does for the double stable knights. Try to sprinkle in a few longbowmen, but they're just not the right unit in this situation. And in the end, the regicide game mode didn't matter at all, because there was no snipe attempt. It was just basically played out. Gummibaer was just regularly defeated. He didn't attempt to go for a king snipe, which would have been the only choice in the later stages of the game. Let's look at the statistics really quickly here. So of course Food Please ahead in all the statistics in the end, because yeah, the game was over for a long time. But look at the mid game. Look at here. We have both players are in Castle Age. Gummibaer actually having a lead over here, and it's still pretty even until the 40-minute mark. But then he wasn't able to defend from the push in the north. He lost all of his archers, which he trickled in one by one to the siege weapons, not using his range advantage and not building his defensive siege workshop. And that's how he lost the game. I mean, he had all the opportunities. He's a very strong player, and I really like his playstyle normally. But against Food Please, he seems to struggle because of his mindset. And I hope that in the next game, which will be on his first home map, he will be able to come back for this banger of a semifinals. So I've been Peter Host, and I see you in the next game.